Welcome back into Embody. Welcome into part two. I am so excited. I'm so grateful you're here. How was lesson one? How was the EFT tapping exploration for you? How did it all go? I'd love to hear. If you're here live with me, let me know in the chat. If you are watching on the recording, I would love to hear from you. Come head over to Instagram at the Jocelyn Dawn. Send me a message. I want to know how it landed for you. I want to know your biggest takeaways. And if you feel called to share on your social media, remember to tag me at the Jocelyn Dawn. And so I can celebrate you, so I can express my gratitude for sharing. And yeah, so I can just see you and say hi. Okay. So reminder about the share graphic giveaway that ends by the end of today. Okay. So actually, let's think. Let's extend it until the end of tomorrow. Okay, so Friday night. Share before Friday night on your social media stories. Tag me at the Jocelyn Dawn so I could actually see it. So you'll actually get your prize. And I am gifting you 30 minutes of my time with that custom EFT tapping session. Um, as a thank you for sharing the graphic. So share the share graphic. You can find it, especially if you registered after we already started, you can find the share graphic in the replays page. Okay, just scroll to the bottom and it'll stay there. So you can save that, download that photo to your phone or computer, and then upload it to your social media stories, and then tag me at the Jocelyn Dawn, and you automatically win yourself a private session with me, including a custom EFT session for you. Okay, so that is so exciting. Second reminder before we jump into part two, the mastermind call, the bonus mastermind call that a bunch of you unlocked when you registered before the 17th, that is going to be added to the calendar tomorrow. So I will let you know what day and time it is, probably on tomorrow's call, if not in the email with the recordings or on the replays page. Okay. So that's really exciting as well. A mastermind call is a really big deal, you guys, because you get to be in close proximity with me and I get to answer any questions you have or point you in the right direction. Masterminding is really powerful because it gives us all an opportunity to come together and converse together as well. Okay, so I'm obsessed with masterminding. Okay, so that's going to be added to the calendar tomorrow. And then for those of you who are already excited about what I'm officially announcing tomorrow, I've been sharing a little bit on the podcast, a little bit on my social media. I am announcing a brand new program, a close proximity opportunity to work with me in a group setting tomorrow and a one-on-one setting. So those of you that are already excited about this, like, you guys will have an exclusive, like an incredible bonus offer that is only available for a limited time. So make sure you stick around if you're someone who knows that you want to go big and you're ready to do so now. Okay, you're ready to take the lead. You're ready to step into that like embodied woman, that embodied leader that you know you're here to be. Okay. I also recently opened up one-on-one coaching, which, again, since you guys are here on this free experience, I have a crazy offer for you. So if you don't want to wait until tomorrow, you just want to inquire, ask me questions, or even apply, you can do so through my social media at the Jocelyn Dawn. I have very, very limited spaces for one-on-one. So if this is of interest to you, definitely get in my direct message, get my private messages over on Instagram. We can chat. Okay. So believe me when I say that I'm obsessed with one-on-one work. Okay, this is, like I say, it's like jet fuel for your dreams. This is how we can work so closely together, like pinpoint everything that's going on in your life and your business, because they're not separate. And we can set you up with routines. We can set you up with a plan. We can get strategic. Yes, I am, believe it or not, strategic to some degree, right? We can make sure that you have all the answers so that you are moving forward and your dreams are moving towards you in a way that feels really good. So everything is flowing. Yeah, and because there's magic that happens when our conscious mind can relate to what we're calling in. Okay, we're going to talk about that more today and tomorrow, but that's where the magic happens, is when we can actually see what we want happening for us. And so that's something that I really get to do with you and for you when we work together one-on-one, is customize your experience. All right. So again, just get into my DMs if you have any questions on that. Okay. And just looking at my notes, if you're joining us today and you missed yesterday, if you missed part 1, go catch part 1 first. Okay. Even if you're here live with me, go catch part 1 first, because there is a method to my madness. There is a method and an order to this training. And it is very intentional. Okay. So today's conversation won't make as much sense if you, excuse me, didn't catch part 1. Okay. So go do that. Practice the tapping. I had so much fun delivering that for you guys yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we learned why we are where we are. We spoke about paradigms and we talked about programming and how our computer is due for an upgrade. Hence this feeling we have in our soul, this like craving or urge for more, this desire to expand and to grow past where we have been existing for so long. Okay. So after yesterday's conversation, your awareness is through the roof, right? Your awareness is through the roof. You've probably had an interesting day yesterday. All the realizations as you were fully stepping into your truth, right? And realizing that all of these ideas and all of these dreams and urges and nudges and all the things are actually yours for a very good reason. And they're ready to come out. You're being called right now to step into them. And so these realizations are coming, right? And they have come yesterday. They will continue to come for as long as you stay in this energy, as you practice the tapping I gave you yesterday, and I will give you today and again tomorrow. Like, practice the tapping, practice embodying this woman that you know you're here to be, this leader that you know you're here to be. These realizations, remember the bridge of incidents, they will continue to happen. The steps will continue to unfold the more you lean in and turn up the dial of you and trusting yourself. Okay, so today I want to ask you something different than yesterday. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Okay, I want you to get your notebook and I want you to write that down at the top of today's conversation. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? One or the other. Okay. So now that we know that we are not just a body, sorry, I'm freezing again. I don't want to wear a sweater because I don't want to be in a sweater on the video, but I'm cold. I've got my shawl on my lap. Oh man. I've got my hot tea. We're good. Okay. So now that we know we aren't just a body, right, from yesterday's conversation, we have an intellectual mind that is very unique, very, very powerful. We don't even understand the capabilities. That's how powerful we are. And like I said yesterday, we have this much understanding or even perception on what's actually possible for us. In our personal life right now, these dreams, these big, audacious, bold, scary dreams that we have, the biggest, broadest thing we can imagine right now is using this much of our potential. Think about that for a second, because our mind can only dream so far. Can only dream so far. So yesterday we unpacked and released some old information, right? There's this, like I mentioned, there's a very strategic way that I deliver this information because everything comes down to awareness. It all starts with awareness. We must know where we stand currently. We must begin to unpack and open up and realize our own beliefs and ideas now, where we stand now, because they create our reality. Okay, our current results were created by our thoughts and beliefs. But our current results are a physical manifestation of our past thoughts and beliefs, because starting today, probably starting yesterday, we've taken back our power and we've decided to be more intentional with our thoughts, right? We started to choose our thoughts and realize that our beliefs of lack and limitation are, of course, they're affirmed in our 3D physical world. Okay. I hear this sometimes like, okay, well, I actually don't have money. Like, that is my physical reality right now. That is your physical reality because that is your belief. And it's kind of weird to think about. It's this like full circle thing, right? You're identifying or you are subscribing to your 3D results. You are, what's another word? You are allowing your 3D results to impact you right now, whether it be the lack of something. Okay. And then you are affirming to yourself, see, there is a lack of that. And what does that do? It solidifies that belief even more. And no matter what I say, no matter even if you work in close proximity with me, there is no way that that is going to change. Your results are not going to change until you realize, that you get to change it. Until you realize that nothing will change until you change that belief. Okay, the results come after the belief. The results come after the belief. But what came first? The beliefs, the ideas, the programming that created our current results. Okay, so now we've become aware of this. We've unpacked and released this old information. The upgrade has started. It is fully initiated and underway. And by the end of tomorrow, it will be complete. Okay, but only if you choose it to be. So like we talked about yesterday, when we're changing a paradigm or like upgrading our programming, what were the 2 ways to change a paradigm? Intense emotional response, right? Something really intense happens that changes our life. The second way is through constant repetition. So if you decide by the end of tomorrow that you are a changed woman, you are now that version of you, you are the one. Okay, the tagline for this event was for the woman who's ready to become the one. That doesn't suit everybody. That doesn't speak to anybody or everybody. It only speaks to you. It only speaks to me because we're here to become the one. So if you decide by the end of tomorrow's conversation, I'm the one, you are the one. But if you still decide that you've still got work to do, you still got healing to do, you're still not enough, you got to go back to school for something. I'm not saying school is bad, don't get me wrong. But I want you to realize that you have everything. Hear me when I say this. You have everything inside of you to go now, to start now, to lead now, to help other people to heal now, to coach now, to coach other people now through what you've been through, to take the lead in your own life now. Please hear me. And please recognize that within yourself. Okay. So now I want to ask you this again. Where do you want to go? Okay. Now that we know the only limits are the ones that we create in our mind, our beliefs, our ideas, our own limited perceptions, where do we want to go? What do we want to call in? Okay. I want you to write this down. What am I calling in? What am I here for? What am I here for? I'll wait. What are you here for? What are you here on this planet to do? Okay, dream. Give yourself permission to go big. We've been taught our entire lives to suppress this shit. It's time to bring it out again. It's time to turn up the fucking dial. Sorry, but it is. It's time. The foot is down. Okay, we are done with limiting ourselves. We are done with playing small. We are done with playing by someone else's rules. We're done by living a fucking average life. We're not here for that anymore. We know that. Okay, you wouldn't be here if you didn't know this, if you didn't feel this in your soul. So I'm asking you now, write it down. What are you really, truly here for? If anything is possible, if all things are possible, if nothing is off limits, what would you create? What would you do? Where would you live? How would you feel every day? What would your day look like? Who would be around you? What would the numbers look like in your bank account? What would your impact look like? Your influence? Okay. We're here for this life of freedom. The big moves. The absurd impact and income that doesn't even make sense. You're here for that, right? You're here for the ability to live anywhere, to travel anywhere you want. And I want you to listen to these thoughts that are coming up as I'm saying this to you. What are you thinking? What are these beliefs that are showing up? How is that possible? I'm not good enough, right? Oh, other people can do that, but not me. I'm too old. I have too many kids. I'm not loud enough. I'm not outgoing enough. What's coming up for you? You know in your soul you want this life. You want this ability to homeschool or unschool your kids, world school your kids without any financial stress. Okay. Buy your parents a house. Retire your husband. Pay for a friend's surgery. Donate to charities. Start your own foundations and companies. Write children's books. Like, what do you want? Call it in, okay? Write it down. There's no limits as to what you can create. You're going to write it down, continue to write whatever comes to mind. I want you to just be aware of those thoughts, okay? Because those thoughts that are coming in right now, they're like, that's selfish. You're not worthy of that. You don't know that. What would they think? You can write them down on a separate piece of paper because those are fucking gold. Those are your golden keys to unlocking this life for yourself. Once you unpack, and I don't mean like get into like deep healing work with these perceived limitations. I mean, once you realize they're not your truth anymore, which can happen in a second, you can literally look at them and be like, that's a pile of shit right there. Like I can see my Aunt Megan's words on my page right there because she told me over and over again, life isn't a walk in the park. Life isn't a walk in the park. Money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard for your money, right? Like rich people are assholes, whatever it is, those stories. I know they're showing up for you right now. They are your golden keys to moving forward and unlocking this next level for yourself. This life that you know you're here for, the life of freedom, the life of impact. Like, I don't even want to say a number because everyone is at such a different point monetary wise. 5K months on repeat, 10K months on repeat, 25K months on repeat, 50K months on repeat, 100K months on repeat. Like I know women that make 100K in a day. Okay. What comes up when I say that to you? That exact thing that's coming up is the reason why it's not your reality. There's a part of you that's like, well, I don't want that. Do you really not want that though? Do you really not want 100K days? Imagine what you do with that money. Imagine the people that you would impact. Imagine the lives you would fucking change. Okay. I don't want to be like too like abrasive here, but like, come on, we got to think of this. Okay. I spent a lot of my 20s traveling all over the world, backpacking around, living for free, just hitchhiking, riding my bike around the world. Like, I spent a lot of time doing that. And I loved every minute of it. It fucking changed me. And I would suggest it for anyone, like any teenager, early 20s, like go and travel the world and just go. It doesn't matter. Okay. But in those moments, I came to a realization I remember so distinctly. I was sitting on a rock by myself in the middle of the mountains in Spain because I was always camping. I just had my hammock. And I was sitting there and I was looking around and I was like, there's so much more to life than this. I'm here to change lives. I'm here to help people to change their lives. Whose lives am I changing here? And I was sitting there by myself, like, I'm changing no one's life here. I'm making no impact here. Just living up to my own standard, living for free, ride my bike around. And there's a time and a place for that. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I knew that I was here for more. And I know I'm here for more. And I know you are too. That's why you're here. That's who I attract into my world. We're not here to just live an average life. We're not here to just survive or just exist. We're here to go bigger. We are like the 1% of people who are not like everyone else. I was having a conversation with a new friend on the lake a couple days ago. And I was like, the more and more I get into this work and the deeper I get into my business and really coaching women in starting and scaling their own leadership-led business or movement, the more I realize we're a unique breed. We're like our own breed of person, our own breed of human beings. And for so long, we've been playing in the arena of average. We've been surrounding ourselves with people who would rather sit on their ass and watch TV and eat a bag of chocolate chip cookies than actually do something about their life, right? So they can complain later, feel bad about themselves. Okay, we've been like playing in this arena of average for so fucking long, and we're done, right? At the time, it's done. We're no longer here for that. And so, of course, when you have this gigantic, like seemingly gigantic goal, dream, desire, of course, when you take it to your friend who is very much in the scene of average, no offense against the friend or anything like that. She just doesn't have the awareness yet, but it's coming through you indirectly. Of course, this friend is going to say, you're fucking nuts. You've lost it, right? Of course, your moves, of course, your life is not going to make sense to average people. Okay, we're a specific breed. And I love this about us. I love this about us so much. Okay, and so when we're talking about there's no limits as to what you can create, Bob Proctor used to explain like goal setting in this specific way. I don't personally love the idea of like goal setting because it feels like a destination. I'm so cool. It feels like a destination. Okay, and so the thing about a destination is that it's kind of funny because goals, when talked about as goals, I do see them as that, like as a destination, whereas our dreams and our desires are very much not a destination. Okay, it's a journey. It is a journey. And when we get to / manifest / realize, holy shit, I'm already living that. It's just the beginning. We're like, wow. And I'm not saying we're constantly pushing and striving for the next big thing. I don't want to live my life like that. And I know you don't either. The realization is that there's no separation. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Okay. So when we talk about like goal setting, I see like goal setting as like a specific like time and space that we're like working towards. Okay. When we're talking about embodiment, and calling in a new experience, it is a transformation that happens inside. Okay, it's a transformation that happens inside first. And then this causes us to magnetize, attract that which we desire into our experience. So it's almost like there's a blending of two realities. Okay, do you see that? And you see how different that is than like a goal, or it's like just the time and space, and we're just like getting to work, like making our way to it, one foot in front of the other, powering through, working harder, working stronger, versus this becoming of a new version of us that kind of melds. Is that a word? Melts? the two realities, merges the two realities together. Okay. So Bob Proctor used to say there are three types of goals. Okay. I like to see it. It's kind of translates into our conversation today. So I wanted to share it. So the first type is an A-type goal. Okay. We can use the word dream or desire for this. There's an A-type desire. An A-type desire is something that we can do it. We've done it before. Okay, maybe if it was a long time ago, doesn't matter. We can still do it again. Okay, we've already built up the, what do I want to say? I don't know if I want to say like the emotional resilience, because that's not necessarily true if we have not held it. Okay, we're going to talk a lot about the nervous system tomorrow and our ability to hold and expand and hold new ideas and new energy. Okay, but an A-type goal is something that we've done before and we know we could do it again. A B-type goal or B-type desire is something we know we could put together with a bit more oomph, a bit more strategy, a bit more connections. We can see how we can piece it together. We could figure it out. That's a B-type desire. So what you wrote down on your paper might have some B-type tendencies, okay? So you could probably figure out that this is our mind playing tricks on us because our mind likes to figure things out. Our mind likes to know how. Our mind likes to know all the details of how everything's going to go. But the really cool thing is that we don't need to know how, like we talked about yesterday. We're here for the 10x, right? We're here for the quantum leap. We're here for the merging of consciousness, the merging of realities. We're dead, right? Sorry, that's Spanish. Okay, so we're here for that. So the third type of desire, the C-type desire or dream or goal, is something that we don't know how. We don't know how the heck this would ever become a reality. We look at it and we're like, I don't even know how. Like, this is what I want. This is what I want. It's so big that I'm actually like afraid to tell anyone about it. Like the thought of telling somebody about it, like makes my stomach kind of flip, right? That is what we're working with here. So when I asked you, what are you calling in? What do you want? Where are you going? That's what I want you to picture. That's what I want you to get clear on. Because what happens there with a 2x growth, for example, if we just want to get like incrementally better or even like double what we're doing now, there's a very masculine undertone there because there's a, like, we can figure out how to 2x. We can figure it out and piece it together. Remember the B type, right? That's more of like a 2x. We can piece it together. We can figure it out. Okay. But the 10x, it's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. It's nonlinear. Okay. The 10x is a quantum leap. So this, the way that we will manifest or realize or achieve this 10x desire, this 10x experience, the only way to do it without the masculine struggle, stress, worry, figuring it out and working harder is through embodiment. Welcome into my world. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to embody that version of you? It's through embodiment. It's through deciding this is what I want and this is who I know I need to become. What does that mean? So when you have this dream or desire, you have a picture of it in your imagination. I know you do. Our imaginations are so strong, so powerful. And people think, meditation, visualizing, oh, it's, airy-fairy, woo-woo stuff. You guys, I tell you right now, picture a dolphin jumping over a wave. It's right there in your mind. Okay. If I tell you right now, take a bite of a lemon, your mouth is watering before there's even any lemon around. It is a reality that our imagination is the key and the solution. It is the way forward. So with that 10x desire, we can see it in our mind. It is our work to develop that desire, to build that desire so strong that there's nothing else. There's no plan B. There's no what if. There's no, I'll just try it out. Oh, this might work. I'm not sure. No. It becomes your reality. And you become that version of you now. Okay. So what happens when you do? I shared my story yesterday about how in that moment I decided that car crash helped me decide. Don't wait for the car crash, please. Just decide. Okay. But you got to decide with every cell in your body that this is your reality. You are that woman now. You are the woman with that level of leadership, that level of influence, that level of impact, that level of income. You are her now. So I want you to just take a second and look at yourself. Feel yourself, feel your body. You can look at yourself in the mirror. There's a separation, right? You wouldn't be leading yourself how you're leading yourself now if that was your reality. Let's just be real. There's a separation. We don't need to feel any certain way about it. But this is how we change our life. We transform in a second through deciding, I'm no longer here for those excuses. I'm no longer here for those old habits, those old addictions. I'm no longer here for those old people that I know are draining me. They're not aligned with my purpose. Okay. And when we make space like this and we recognize we're no longer here for these things, we make space. We make space for what we are aligned for, what we are aligned with. Okay. So now we see how the 10x happens. We're going to talk a lot more about embodiment and this concept tomorrow. So don't miss it. This is going to be huge. Okay. So we're here for the 10x. We're here for the quantum leap, the illogical growth. So stop, please stop playing in the arena of normal people, of average. Stop comparing yourself to average people and stop asking average people for advice. Oh man, stop sharing your ideas with them. They will expand and grow and elevate and whatever you want to call it, quantum leap their life because you choose to go first, because you chose to go first. It's another conversation I had with my friend the other day at the lake. She's like, oh, I just see it so much for other people. And, they could do so well if they could just look at something else. I was like, you got to go first. They won't see it until you go first. We're here to go first. And so what happens when someone around us elevates? There's two things. Either they trigger the shit out of us. We're triggered and we're turned off and we're like, oh, Jocelyn's growing and learning and doing all these different things. And like, oh, whoa, I don't have anyone to like drama with anymore. I don't have anyone to like gossip with or drink with. No, they'll wake up eventually. Okay. Or the other hand, those friends are like, holy shit, Jocelyn's expanding. She's growing. Look at her. She's changed. Like she even looks different. Like everything about her is different. She's glowing. Her energy is magnetic. Like what's she up to? And they get on board. They get on board. They get on the bus and they start to change their own life. We don't need to do anything. We don't sell to our friends. We don't preach to our friends. We don't even coach our friends unless they hire us. Right? Which they probably will by default, just through proximity. But they change. The people closest to us change because we change. Because we stop pointing fingers and waiting for other people to go first, and we fucking change. Okay, so we're here for the 10x, yes. We're here for the scary illogical growth, yes. We're here to challenge ourselves and get outside the comfort zone, the comfort average zone. We're here to lead with our purpose. We're here to realize that right now, where we are right now, We have so much wisdom, so much experience, so much knowledge, so much that is bigger than us that we aren't even aware of yet, that is being called to come through us. This is our purpose. Okay? We have so much to share through our story. We're here to change lives. We're here for the illogical, the nonlinear, the feminine, the energetics, the effortless way. This is the effortless way, you guys. It's through embodiment of a new idea and a new identity. And you can change this in a second. You can choose. But the beliefs that you can't, or the beliefs or the fears around, what are they going to think of me? What if I fail? What if I do it wrong? What if I don't know enough? What if I'm, the market is saturated. There's so many people out there doing what I want to do. They're blah, 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 blah. That's what's stopping you. That's what's standing in the way from where you potentially still are, / where you were before yesterday's conversation, and where you want to be. It's all that noise, but it's just noise. And you can let it go. You can turn the dial down. Turn the dial down, and then turn the dial up of you, your voice, your intuition, and your unique guidance within. Your connection to spirit, source, creator, God, whatever your universe, whatever you want to call it. Remember that the intuition is that channel, that pathway, that connection between that divine energy, that all-knowing creative source energy, and the human experience. Even, I'm not talking about religion here. You know this to be true because you have an intuition. Where do those ideas come from? Where does that random coincidences come from? Those synchronicities come from? Why do you meet the perfect person, the perfect timing, with the exact answer you needed? Why are you here right now listening to me? And you're like, yes, this is exactly what I needed. How do you know exactly what I need to hear? There's no coincidences. There's no such thing as coincidence. Okay. So this can be triggering for someone who is potentially, super anti-religious. And I get it. Like, I'm not a religious person at all. I'm a spiritual person. I know, we're not dumb, right? Okay, we can believe in evolution, but still believe that we have a source, creative, limitless source within us that connects us all together. This energy that's bigger than us, right? Okay, so anywho, without going too far down that rabbit hole, the effortless way, right? We're here to let go of the struggle, the stress, the overwhelm, the worry, the lack, the limitation, right? It's time. Okay. So we're going to talk more about that tomorrow, about the effortless way. But I want to just say that your dream should scare you. Yeah. It should scare you. Remember the jungle trail yesterday? It should scare you. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Go bigger. Go even bigger. Okay. And listen to those voices. Remember, listen to those voices that are coming up, write them down, and see them for what they are. Old information. Old information. Okay. So now I intentionally seek out opportunities to feel that stretch, to feel that fear, because I know it's the fastest way forward. When I'm comfortable, when things are just kind of just, going around like one foot in front of the other, it's kind of like, okay, it's monotonish. When things are just like happening, I start to seek out opportunities to grow, to feel the stretch. Because I know if I don't, I get bored, actually, and maybe you resonate with that. I don't think it's a bad thing per se. Not necessarily need to like shake up my whole world and like cause a bunch of drama. No. But I am looking for ways to grow, looking for ways to feel expanded and to take my business to levels that it's never been, take my growth to levels that I've never been. Okay. So what is going to happen when we declare this dream or desire for ourselves? What's going to happen when we say, this is it? This is what I want. I don't know how. But this is what I want. What's going to happen? We're going to start to change. We're going to start to shift. Okay, if we continue to declare it and continue to embody it. If we just write it down and say, yeah, that's what I want, good, yep, and you put it away, or like you forget about it after a couple days, nothing's gonna change. Okay, this is kind of like vision boarding. You ever done a vision board and you like get all excited and you're like in the energy, maybe with a couple friends, like got your vision board, you get all your things on there and you're like, yes, this is my future. This is feeling so good. And then you like maybe put it up on the wall. If it makes that far, you might just like put it behind a box or something. And then eventually there's just like, it's there, it's just there. And you look at, maybe you look at it once in a while and you're like, oh, dang, that would be nice. You know, there's a separation. There's a separation. And until the separation is closed, until you realize there is no separation, that which you desire will always stay in the future. And time continues to go on. We're not getting any younger. Time continues to go on. Tomorrow's not promised. We don't want to wait. We don't want to say, one day my life will look this way. One day this will happen. Let's close the gap. Okay? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So, when we are really getting into this, you know now to expect the stories. You know now to expect all of these ideas and beliefs and old expired, old information. You know that it's going to come up. Okay, all the snakes and all the tigers, right? When we're talking about the jungle trail, they're all going to show up. It's all going to come up, but we're stronger now. We are not who we were before. We know better now. Okay, we know better and we have the support and the guidance and we have the tools. The EFT tapping I gave you yesterday, and I'm going to give you another one today. So we know that this contrast is going to show up. It's inevitable. It is inevitable. Do not make it mean anything about you. Okay, because the moment you do, you give your power away and you throw yourself off the bridge. Remember the bridge of incidents. So do not give your power away to it. Don't make it mean any sort of anything about you. The lack of results, the old information, the stories, the guilt, the shame, the wondering, the questioning, the fear, whatever it is, it's going to show up and it's going to look real good. It's going to be very attractive and it's going to sound very real. But don't subscribe. It's not your reality anymore. And over time, the more and more we override it, every time we override it, how do we override it? We just see it for what it is and choose again. That's not my reality anymore. This is, and declare it. I am this. This is my reality. Because what you've dreamt up, what you have created, that vision for yourself, that life, that dream, desire, that's your truth. It's on your path. It's inevitable that it will be yours. Only if you stay on that path. Only if you continue to embody that version of you and you continue to take steps and action, embodied, aligned action towards it. Okay? Because if you don't, it's not on your path anymore. It's on your timeline. Okay, so that contrast is going to show up. Who cares? Who cares? You can even say that to yourself. Who cares? It means nothing about me. That's old information. I don't live there anymore. I used to tell myself that all the time. I don't live there anymore. So the how doesn't matter. Tomorrow's the how. We're going to talk more about the how. How do we make this happen? How do we call this in? How do we actually take action when we feel scared? How do we turn up the dial in us when we're afraid of judgment? The how's not up to us. Okay. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. All we need to do is make the decision. We don't look side to side. We don't need a waiver. We don't need the holy fuck life-changing event, the car crash. We don't need that. All we need to do is decide. Okay. So you're here for a reason. You have a very unique, very incredible story to share with the world. I know you do. And you're ready to turn up the dial on you. Okay. You're ready to turn your mountain or perceived mountain that you have scaled in your life into your purpose that helps others to heal and take their power back. Right? So this desire that you feel in your heart to lead, to impact, to change the world, to give back in such beautiful ways is on your heart for a reason. It's on your path. It's your timeline. Like it's on your timeline. You're relating to it for a certain reason, and it's perfect. If it wasn't on your timeline, if it wasn't on your path, you wouldn't relate to it like this. You wouldn't. Like, have you ever, you talk to someone and you're like, oh, what are you up to? What are you working towards? And they're like, I want to be a professional race car driver. And you're like, I would never ever want to do that. You don't relate to it. It's not on your path. You could choose it to be on your path, right? If you wanted to. But the fact that you relate and you were like alive by this dream or desire that you wrote down, this idea that you have for your life, your vision that you have for your life, this level of impact and income that you're here to make, it changes you, right? You're in resonance with it. So it's up to you to explore it. Continue to discover more information about it. Okay, you can spend time in visualizing, seeing it in your imagination, like daydreaming about it, collecting information and bringing it back to your 3D now. Okay, and embodying that version of you now, which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and taking action towards it now. Most of the time, this action won't make sense. It won't make sense to anyone. It'll make sense to me and my community. But it won't make sense to anyone else around you most of the time. Okay, so let's do a tapping session to remove some of this resistance and lean into this like bigger picture we have for ourselves. All right. When you're ready, sit up tall, roll your shoulders back a few times. Take a deep breath in through the nose, hold it at the peak, and then exhale through the straw. Do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Start by tapping on the side of the hand. We'll take another breath. And just repeating after me. Okay. It feels scary to do something new, something unknown, something this big. It feels really scary to do something I've never done before. And I feel that I have some resistance around going this big, around allowing myself or giving myself this permission to dream this big. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if I lose friends or family? What if my entire life as I knew it falls apart, as I know it falls apart? What if I am judged by people around me? All of these ideas, they feel very real to me right now. All of these fears and all of this emotion, it feels very real to me right now. But there's a big part of me that wants to go for it anyway. I know that I'm here for so much more than average. And I know that these fears, this emotion that I'm feeling, is old information. Even if it feels really real, I know it's old information. all these beliefs and ideas I've collected over my lifetime, most of which I know exactly where they came from. I'm so ready to let them go. I'm so ready to stop living up to this standard. I'm so ready to stop blocking myself and standing in my own way. I'm ready to fly. And even though it feels fucking scary, and even if I don't know how, I'm ready to go for it anyway. Go right to the top of the head. All these fears and judgments that have been holding me back. Eyebrow point. That I have been believing to be true. Side of the eyes. I now see that they're not. Underneath the eyes. My truth is in my imagination. Underneath the nose. My truth is this dream I wrote down on this paper. Underneath the mouth. And I know in my soul, I can go bigger. Collarbone point. This is just the beginning. Underneath the arms. I'm here to do things that are so big under the chest that they don't make sense to normal people. Wrist point. But I now see I'm not normal. Top of the head. I've been playing in the wrong arena for so long. Eyebrow point. I've been comparing myself to average for so long. Side of the eyes. I've been asking for support and guidance and approval from average people for so long. Underneath the nose. I'm no longer here for it. Underneath the mouth. I'm so grateful for everything I've experienced up until now. Collarbone point. The leaders, the teachers, the mentors. Under the arms, the parents, the grandparents, everyone. Under the chest. Everyone who has played a role in my journey. Wrist point. I'm so grateful. Top of the head. But I'm ready to take my power back. Eyebrow point. I'm ready to take my life into my own hands. Side of the eyes. And realize that no one's coming to save me. Underneath the eyes. No one's opinions matter but my own. Under the nose. The only limits I have are the ones I create in my mind. Underneath the mouth. This is huge. Collarbone point. So all those old ideas and beliefs underneath the arms that used to feel so big to me. Underneath the chest. They don't anymore. Wrist point. I'm ready for so much more. Top of the head. So much more impact. Eyebrow. So much more purpose. Side of the eyes. So much more abundance. Under the eyes. So much more freedom. Underneath the nose. So much more community. under the mouth, and so much more me. Collarbone point, these dreams and desires I have. Under the arms are mine for a reason. Under the chest, and they're ready to come out now. Wrist point, I'm stepping into her now. Top of the head. I am the one. Eyebrow point. I am powerful beyond measure. Side of the eyes. I am unshakable. Underneath the eyes. Unstoppable. Underneath the nose. Lit up. Under the mouth. And turned on. Collarbone point by my message and my purpose. Under the arms for what I know I'm here to do in this world. Under the chest. I'm ready to go. Wrist point, and even though it feels scary, continue on the wrist. I'm here for it. And so it is. It's done. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Take a breath. Close the eyes, tuning in. Hold the breath. And then exhale through your straw. Take one more full inhale here. And exhale. Noticing how you're feeling. Continue to breathe. Continue to feel. How do you feel? This is your truth. You're ready. You're ready to own it. That thing you wrote down, it's yours. And I want you to go bigger. Go even bigger. Okay, because the world needs us. We are not average. So let's stop comparing ourselves to average people. We're not even in the same arena. Okay, more and more people are waking up to their own innate power within. They are. But we need to go first. You ready? Okay. So check out the journal prompts that are going to be on the replay page. They will encourage you to go deeper into this. Okay. I want you to continue to build out this image of yourself, this image of who this version of you is that you wrote down. How does she move? How does she feel? How does she care for herself? What does she think? What are her beliefs? What are her hobbies? What are her habits? Who does she surround herself with? What do the numbers look like in her bank account? What impact does she make on this planet? And I want you to see that that is you. That is your truth. Okay. You are now the author of your own story, and you get to choose what happens next. The page is turned, brand new chapter. Doesn't matter what happened before. Doesn't fucking matter. Okay. Doesn't matter what happened before. You've let it go. You've healed from it. Continue to do the tapping from yesterday if you still feel like you have things that you're holding on to, or you find some new patterns or new programs or new habits or whatever. Do the tapping from yesterday. Give yourself grace. Recognize that it served its purpose, and the time is done. It's ready to own. You're ready to own your life and start to co-create your life now, according to this that you wrote down. Okay. So let's pick up from here tomorrow. Practice this tapping again and again. I will cut it out of this lesson again for you. Go find the audio, which should be on the replay page as well. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today, anything at all, any of the programs, one-on-one coaching, let me know. You're welcome to just message me on Instagram at the Jocelyn Dawn. We can have a conversation. Reminder to share the share graphic. Share in your stories. Why do people need to know about this? Okay. Together, we're changing the world. Share the graphic. Tag me at the Jocelyn Dawn so I can gift you a private session with me. Okay. Now go have the best day ever. You are on fire. You're fucking high on life. Let's go. This is so fun, right? This is so fun. This is how life gets to be. So I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. The Zoom link will be in your email. Okay. Thank you for being here and go have the most beautiful day ever.